The air smells of wet clay and crushed dates. A woman is standing barefoot on a flat mudbrick roof, folding the wool blanket she slept under. Below her, the city is beginning to make its sound. Not one sound, thousands. Grinding stones, donkeys, a gate hinge, a child refusing to wake. It is the first month of the year in the spring of 572 BC. The river below her is the Euphrates, and the city she is standing on is Babylon. In the decade, it is the largest city on earth. You have known this name your whole life. The tower, the gardens, the Babylon of Revelation. Strip the myth away, and a stranger question is left standing. What did an ordinary day here actually feel like between waking and sleeping? The answer survives. It survives inside a document that was kept night after night for more than 700 years. And it quietly changes what you think a civilization leaves behind. Babylon, in the reign of Nebuchadnezzar II, covers roughly 900 hectares. Perhaps 200,000 people live inside it. That figure is an estimate, not a census, but it is the highest any city on Earth had yet reached. The Euphrates runs straight through the middle. A bridge of 7 stone piers crosses it, about 120 meters long. Robert Coldaway found those piers still sitting in the riverbed when he began excavating here in 1899. 2 walls ring the inner city, and the Babylonians gave them names. The way you might name a living thing. Imgur-Enlil has shown favor. Nemeti-Enlil, the bulwark of Enlil. At the center stands Etemenenki, the ziggurat. A tablet copied in 229 BC records its base as 91 meters on each side, and its height as roughly the same. A cube of brick the size of a small mountain, raised in a country that has no stone. And out in the palm groves beyond the walls, men climb the date palms every spring to pollinate them by hand, a technique already more than 1,000 years old on this morning, and still the way it is done today. We do not know the woman's name, but we know hundreds like her lived here because the temple accounts list them by the household. Ishparu, weavers, women attached to the estate of a god and paid in barley, wool, and oil. She comes down the stair into a courtyard 4 paces across. In the residential quarter, the excavators call Merkes. Breakfast is barley bread, dense as a brick. Beer, cloudy and sour, brewed from bread itself, closer to porridge than to anything you would recognize as a drink. Dates, onions, a little sesame oil. Her ration for the month is measured in a unit called the sutu, and it is written down. Everything here is written down. That is the first thing to understand about this city. Babylon cannot stop taking notes. Outside, the street is unpaved and narrow enough that 2 loaded donkeys cannot pass each other. It smells of animal, of smoke, of river. The walls on either side hold the night's cool until mid-morning. Walk north and the city changes. The street widens. Underfoot, limestone. This is the only paved road she will ever stand on. It is called Ibur Shapu, the Processional Way, and along the walls that flank it, at roughly the height of your shoulder, there are lions. 120 of them, in glazed brick, molded in relief, walking beside you as you walk. Then the gate. The Ishtar Gate is new. The brick was laid within the last few years, and the blue of its glaze is so saturated that it reads as black, in shadow, and as open sky at noon. Across its surface, Coldaway's team counted 575 animals. Bulls of the storm god Adad, and the Mushushu, the horned serpent dragon of Marduk, repeated row after row into the light. There is no other blue like it in the ancient world. The ingredients did not exist locally. They arrived by caravan. She has walked past this perhaps 1,000 times. Familiarity is its own kind of wealth. This month is Nisannu. and Nisannu means the festival. For 11 days, the city belongs to the new year. The instructions for the rite survive on tablets copied centuries after this morning, so what follows is a late description of an old ceremony. But on the 5th day, the text says, something extraordinary happens inside Esagila, the temple of Marduk. The king enters alone. The high priest takes his scepter, his ring, his mace, his crown. Then the priest strikes the king across the face. And the most powerful man on earth kneels and says, I have not sinned. I have not neglected your divinity. I have not destroyed Babylon. The crown is returned. The priest strikes him a second time. Hard enough, the text specifies that tears must come. If the king weeps, the god is satisfied. If no tears come, the year will go badly. Nebuchadnezzar II, who burned Jerusalem, kneels in the dark and is slapped until he cries, so that the barley will grow. Now the day ends, and the part almost nobody knows begins. Somewhere above the roofline, on a platform inside the temple complex, a man is standing in the dark with a wet clay tablet and a cut reed. He is not praying. He is working. He writes down the position of the moon against a fixed star. He writes whether the night was clouded. He writes the level of the Euphrates, risen, fallen, by how much. And then, on the same tablet, in the same hand, he writes the market price of 6 things: barley, dates, mustard, cress, sesame, wool, the sky, and the price of bread, in a single paragraph. He does not consider these separate subjects. The Babylonians had a phrase for what he is doing: naṣāru shā ginê. It translates roughly as the regular watching. Not a discovery, not an experiment. A watching, kept regularly, the way you keep a lamp lit. Here is what took scholars most of the 20th century to piece together. He was not the first man to do this. He would not be the last. The tablets we now call the astronomical diaries begin around 652 BC and end in 61 AD. More than 7 centuries of continuous nightly observation. It is the longest sustained scientific record in the history of our species. Babylon fell to Cyrus of Persia in 539 BC. The watching continued. Alexander of Macedon died in this city in 323 BC, and the diary entry for that month notes his death in the same flat voice it uses for the price of wool. The watching continued. Greek kings came. Parthian kings came. The streets slowly emptied. The watching continued. Those tablets are why Hipparchus could measure the length of the year. Ptolemy quotes Babylonian eclipse records directly in the Almagest, and through Ptolemy they reached Copernicus and Kepler and everything after. Babylon's greatest invention was not the wall or the gate or the arch of blue brick. It was the habit of not stopping. You use it constantly. There are 60 seconds in your minute and 60 minutes in your hour because Babylonian scribes counted in base 60. There are 360 degrees in your circle for the same reason. The 12 signs of the zodiac were fixed into the form you would recognize by Babylonian astronomers in the 5th century BC. Every time you check the hour, you are using a measurement system designed by men who wrote the sky onto wet clay by lamplight, men who would have found your wristwatch entirely obvious. You inherited their arithmetic without ever learning their names. One last thing. Clay tablets are fragile when they are only dried. But when a city burns, when the roof beams fall and the archive rooms cook from the inside, the clay hardens. It vitrifies. It becomes ceramic. It becomes permanent. The libraries of Mesopotamia survive because they were destroyed. Nebuchadnezzar built his walls to stand forever, and they are dust you can walk through. The gate is in a museum in Berlin, reassembled behind glass, in a country he never knew existed. What actually survived was the smallest thing in the city: a man on a roof, a reed pressed into wet clay, the moon, its position, noted. One more night. Babylon did not last because it was great. It lasted because someone, every night, wrote it down.